Hey everybody, it's Brandy and you're watching Abstract Crafter. In today's video, we have a post review on kenting, followed by a framing. Since this is an all-in-one kit, I might as well show you how everything goes together. So if you're curious about my thoughts and what it looks like framed, then just keep on watching and we will get into that as soon as I roll those intro credits. Why, hello friends, welcome back. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. I am so glad that you're here. So, like I said, we're going to be doing a post review. I'm just on a roll with these post reviews lately. Of course, this is the smallest diamond painting I have ever done. And without further ado, dun-ta-da, there she is. I have this white piece of paper behind me because I thought it would help the camera a little bit. I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you, just so you can see the full guy here. So we're at 1.5 times zoomed in. And, I mean, there's not a whole lot to say on it because it's so small that, like, issues and stuff like that are not really something that comes up. So, again, this is kenting, and I just named this Chubby Bunny. I like to name my diamond paintings. Most of them don't really. They just have a description as a title, so that's why I do that. This was $9.99 on Amazon, and if the price had changed, I will put that on the screen. If not, then we'll just go there. Everything was relatively normal, I guess. I didn't have any issues. I mean, with a painting this size, it's really hard to judge too much on anything. So the normal things that I go over are gonna kind of feel a little weird. But the glue was really good. The beads didn't slide around. It wasn't goopy or gummy or anything like that. There was no pinching, buckling, or missing areas of glue. And one thing I like to ask is the size offered a good fit? And I mean, it's easy to see that it is indeed. The image is quite clear. It looks like the picture that was shown, and they did also include a picture with the canvas, so you can I can kind of do the side by side right here. I think one thing that's really hard to translate in diamond paintings is things like the eyes and the mouth and like even the cheeks, because they're more whimsical, and you can't really do that in diamond painting. I mean, to an extent, but on a painting this size, it does not translate that it's a bunny with his eyes closed and that these are just the eyelids as in here, and then this top part is the eyebrows. It just kind of looks like he's missing eyeballs. So if you wanted to, you could pull out a couple of those white ones there and just pop in another brown one and add an eyeball, which I'm not going to, just because I don't see it to be necessary. Some of the other like details, like up here being flowers, I don't get that. They look like snowflakes to me. These leaves here, even online, look more blue, and they're tan. So things like that don't translate well. The bow tie here doesn't translate super well into a bow tie. It just looks like a different color part of his collar. But again, it's a super small painting, and with 10 colors, right? 10 colors. You get what you get. So far, as far as the price, I have to see it framed before I tell you if I feel like it's worth the $10 that they're asking for it. Let's see, what else let's take a quick peek at leftovers. I have them sitting on top of the frame that it came with. So, and in case you're new and you've never seen one of my post reviews, I show leftovers and garbage because it speaks to the quality of the drills. In this case, I did dump out the entire bags and go through and pull out any garbage that I saw, because right here is the garbage. So it's not a lot, which is good. And some of them, it was just me being picky, pulling garbage where it really didn't need to. And oddly enough, them were all drills that didn't belong. And there was 2 rhinestones in there, oddly enough. I found that really strange. I at least I assume that they came from this, but I don't know where else they would have came from. So that's that. So yeah, you do get quite a bit of leftovers, and the quality was very good. They have an incredible sparkle to them, as we'll try to see. It's very hard to show on camera sparkle on light colors. Even in person it is. But typically, when I'm doing this kind of thing, you can see intense sparkle. And it's most likely going to pick up in the blue and the dark pink. It's so hard to show the sparkle of a drill on whites and cream colors. I don't know why, it just is. So they don't appear as sparkly. I have not wiped this down. I haven't done any of the things that I typically do in framing. So we're going to do that in just a moment. The last thing I want to talk about is my overall experience working on the canvas. That's something that I like to score on. And I mean, it took me a couple of hours. So yeah, it was a fun little project. I wouldn't say it brought me a ton of joy. It almost kind of, and this is going to sound weird, it almost felt like a burden in a way, because it was so small, and the couple of hours that was spent on this was, I don't know. It has nothing to do with the painting itself or the company. It was just my mindset. Like, they didn't ask me to hurry up and finish this because this was sent to me for review purposes. It wasn't them pressuring me. It was myself pressuring me. So oddly enough, so I'm not going to hold that against them, is what the point is that just because the joy that I should have felt and didn't feel because I was feeling like it was a burden, I think because it was so small, I just was like, oh, it's just, and kind of what was happening while I was working on this is I was able to do one full color at a time. So for example, when I was working on number 1, I was able to, and that's just the bow tie and the snowflake flowers in the background. I wanted to complete all that color. So if something came up and my kids needed me or something, I felt pressured to hurry up and finish that color, which is just a weird feeling because I've never had that with diamond paintings. So I think in that sense that I stressed myself out. I don't know why. Like I said, it's never happened. So the quality is certainly there. It's a nice soft canvas. It feels good quality. The glue felt really nice. So for all of them reasons, I thought, it was a really nice kit. And as a bigger kit, it would be a good canvas to work on. If they ever started and kept all the same drills and canvases and stuff, it would translate well to bigger sizes. The gentleman I was speaking to, he was very kind, very matter of fact, very right to the point. So I feel like if you did have issues, you would have no problem with communication and stuff like that. So that's about all I have as far as going over my little checklist. As for scoring, I'm going to wait until we frame it, but it did score a 10 out of 10 on the unboxing, if that means anything to anyone. So I'm going to go grab a wipe and scrub this down. I like to do that so that it'll help get any of the leftover residue off. I won't explain it. We'll just go through the process together. So I'm going to get all set up for that, and we'll do that together. Okay, so here we go. This is my process that I do for every single framing and finishing on any canvas, whether I frame it or not, actually. A lot of the steps I'm about to do is what I do on all canvases when I'm done with them. I always start out with an old toothbrush. I mean, you can even see how gross and dirty it is, and it's literally only been used for this exact purpose, and I just kind of give it a nice brush to help loosen any hairs that might be attached to it. which there shouldn't be when, you know, it's this small, but I did work on it upstairs out of my office, or in my office, and all the pets are allowed in there. So I just kind of give it a good brushing in all directions. Sometimes I'll go circular just to kind of get any little bits out, any hard bits of wax from my drill pen, that kind of stuff. And yeah. And that kind of helps just get stuff out of there. It's actually a lot more useful on bigger canvases that I've worked on that have taken me weeks. So then I go in with just a clean wipe. You can use any kind of wipe, really. I've used Clorox wipes as well. It's not going to hurt it. It helps. It's not going to ruin the sticky underneath or anything like that. It helps a ton on the edges where the glue might be coming out. It helps loosen hairs that get stuck in there. The thing with these wipes, I use the original Wet Nap, is that they do kind of break apart a little bit. So I prefer my baby wipes, and I probably will get some of those shortly, as I'm going to be finishing a bunch of diamond paintings and framing some. So I would prefer not to have little bits and pieces coming off. So this kind of does help to make the diamonds adhere a little better, but I still go in and I use a rolling pin. I've seen this exact style of rolling pin at the dollar stores for $1. I got mine at Goodwill. So then I go in and I push down about as hard as I possibly can. And that'll help pop any in that are kind of maybe just sitting in crooked. Maybe didn't, I don't know, like if there's one that's maybe a little bigger than the rest, it'll help push it into place a little bit more. So you can do this with a brayer, a rolling pin. You can use a heavy book and just put the book down and put pressure on top of it. Anything you'd like. So that's all I do to get it prepped. And now, because it fits flush into the frame, I don't have to worry about measuring it and doing anything extra to it to get it to fit. I just gotta get the frame prepped, which means I gotta take my drills off. And then let's move this guy off to the side and focus on the frame. So this one came with the frame, like I said, and I've been doing a little bit of investigating, and I'm gonna try to get some ordered from, there's some more on Amazon, and I even saw some on AliExpress, and I'm gonna try to get some ordered that are a little different and bigger and see what we think of those. So this particular one is not glass. It's a little piece of acetate or plastic, and it has, you know, I did show this in the unboxing, so that will be linked up above and down below if you missed that and want to get caught up on my thoughts there. But it did have, I did show in there that it had a protective covering on both sides, so you just got to peel that up. I mean, this is one of the most basic and simple framing jobs, so it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm just doing it with you so we can complete it together. And the reason I don't like acetate, I don't know if you can see that. It's probably not going to show up, but there is a little mark right there where it got bent a little bit, and it appears as a scratch, so hopefully it doesn't take away from the canvas. So then that just sits right inside of there like that. We'll set that off to the side because now we need to cut the border away. All of these instructions are on the card that came with it. They're a lot more simple, and I kind of wish I would have got a pink frame like that. I don't have any paint on hand that I would prefer to change that to, so you could do that if you wanted to. You could definitely paint it. So you can see there's a line around the outside. I love when canvases have that. Not all of them do, or some of them are really light. So you just want to try to cut the best you can on that line. You can also use a paper cutter or an X-Acto knife if you don't feel like you're going to be steady enough to cut on that line. I'm not super worried about it. It's going to be hidden behind that frame. So to me, if I were to be a little bit off and crooked, it's fine. One thing I was paying close attention to is if any of these drills didn't fit within the box, and I didn't really notice any troubles with that. So, and you want to make sure for this purpose that you're using scissors that can handle cutting through this. I specifically bought these Fiskars. They're titanium and they're non-stick. They're meant for like cutting glue and anything sticky. Obviously, that's why they're non-stick. So I saw these when I needed to buy new craft scissors, and I thought, well, this would just be perfect for this exact reason right here. I'm always cutting things that are sticky, whether it be in diamond painting or crafting or building my dollhouses. So I really wanted some good scissors that could withstand cutting through that. So I didn't really measure, I guess, to make sure that everything was going to fit in there. If I cut on the line, I don't really want to see anything hanging over, but I think it's going to be a problem. You can take typically what I would do is I would take out the glass or the acetate or whatever out and line it up, and I would draw a line around it, and that's where I would cut. But since it came with it, I'm assuming that this is what I'm supposed to do. It just says cut off blank edge on here. It doesn't say anything other than that. It doesn't give you additional instructions. So I'm assuming that that's what they want you to do, is to cut on the line that I am already cutting on. I mean, it's nice to get instructions, but sometimes I wish some companies, not saying Kenting, but sometimes I'd wish they'd just be a little bit more detailed. I'm a detail kind of gal. Obviously, it's not a ding or anything. Just a personal preference, my friends. We're almost there. Such an easy and simple frame job. It really is. And you could do so many things to the frame if you wanted to. Besides painting it, you could use your leftover drills and decorate the outside. You could continue this pattern if you wanted to, if you have a good enough imagination and artistic skills. This is a canvas that tends to fray. Most of them do, if you can see the little edges on there. So if you wanted to, you could put a little fray check on those edges, but I don't plan on ever taking it out of this frame. So let's set her in there. Make sure everything is on the up and up, literally. So there's the top, and there's the little thing if I wanted to hang it with a nail or if I wanted to set it on my desk. So I want to make sure all of that stuff is in the proper position, and then it's just that easy. You just set that right on top and push those things right inside. There's a groove inside the frame that allows them to sit flush. So then I just kind of flip it over and make sure everything is in there tight and sitting like it should. This one is really loose and it's not wanting to stay, so you could put a little dab of glue on that if you wanted to, just to kind of help guide it. Oh, OCD. Whereas this one now is sitting really tight and it doesn't want to center out for me. It doesn't have to be center. It's my OCD. Same with that guy. Okay, there we go. There it is. So, of course now we're going to get the glare, but it can sit or hang, and I'll probably hang it, even though these are the worst. I almost can never get them on the nail when they're like that. But that's what she looks like. It does cut off a tiny, tiny portion of the painting, about that much on all sides. So that's something to also keep in mind with this kit. There's a little bit of glue seeping out of that corner. Get that all nice and pretty, because I'm going to be hanging diamond painting soon. I have a whole hallway to decorate. And I want to see specifically where that crack or the scratch and the acetate was, and it's right up here, and it lines up almost perfectly with that blue flower right there. Can you see it where the light is? It's right in the middle of the light where it's shining. So it lines up nicely with that blue, so hopefully it won't be an issue. But I think as far as scoring for the post review, I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. So overall, it maintained a full score, which with a painting this size, like I said, there's not a whole lot to judge it on. So if it hadn't maintained its 10 out of 10, that would have probably been more to talk about than what I talked about in this video. So that's where I'm gonna let you guys go. That's all I got. There ain't a whole lot to say. I like when things are nice and smooth for me personally, but for a video, it kind of makes it a little boring, but that's okay, right? It's okay to be boring sometimes. All right, guys, I'm gonna let you go. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not. Hit the thumbs up. It helps me out so much. And hit the bell so you will always be notified when I upload videos just like this one. With that, I'm gonna let you go. Have an awesome day. Have fun doing whatever it is that truly makes you happy. I love you, friends. Ha ha. And so does the bunny. Ha ha. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.